Should we podcast? Maybe we should.
Maybe we were supposed to.
Oh my days. It's so bad because that scene is so like intense and tense and scary and all of these things, but I can't help kicking my feet like a schoolgirl and twirling my hair when I see it.
It's a great scene.
It's just such an excellent scene. I just love it. And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. I have such a weird reaction to it. I'm like, hee hee hee.
I mean, that is a weird reaction.
It's a teehee moment for me.
I'm not sure it should be.
Should we teehee? Maybe we shouldn't. Oh, I'm Ariel.
And I'm Velvet.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Lost. Don't know why I said that. To Lost All Caps.
It's been a while since we've recorded. So it feels like a big welcome back moment. But literally you guys heard from us last week.
Yeah, it's been a week for you guys, but it's been a while for us. We've been very busy, haven't we?
We have been busy. A lot's happened.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Why would you say that?
I just had a very long day yesterday and I'm really tired. I'll level with you guys.
That was in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood necessarily. But I did work for like 10 hours yesterday and my knees hurt and I have to work again tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So
I worked for 5 hours yesterday and then got on a train.
Yeah, also not great.
So not wonderful. Also, we're back in York recording today, and in the little village where our parents live, we forgot to take into account that every Thursday morning they'd have bell ringing practice at the church.
The church bell ringers do like 5 hours of rehearsals every Thursday morning.
So fucking long. It goes on for hours and hours and hours. All morning it's been going. It's midday now. They're still active.
It's 12. I woke up at 10 and it was going, it was full swing when I woke up.
Yeah. Every week it's like this.
And I totally forgot. So if you hear any bells.
If you can hear the bells.
That's what that is.
A little peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
Since, we were both saying we've both been very busy. I started a new job. Velvet's been working a lot. We've both been very busy. This is the first episode that we actually watched separately.
Oh, yes. Because I was going to say I watched this on Netflix. And
because I had the DVDs
because
in
Ariel
Manchester.
had the DVDs. And actually, as of hearing this, that's not going to be true anymore because I found out it's coming off of Netflix on the 14th of August.
No way!
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. The other thing that's happened since we last saw you is I've dyed my hair. I feel the need to bring that up.
Oh, it's dyed the hair.
It's orange now. Well, not all orange, but some orange.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
it's
slowly
faded.
turning you. I'm slowly turning you to the dark side.
It's faded upsettingly fast. I know that they do. I know that neon
You're
colours
telling
do.
me so many people come up to me and be like, I love the pink. I'm like, fuck off, it's supposed to be red.
I used to get so angry when I had my ends done years ago and they were purple, but they were like slightly, we tried to go blue and then the blue came out like really faded and awful because the blue just didn't take. So then we put the purple on top. And every time it washed out, people would be like, ooh, the blue's great. I was like, no, it's not. First of all, no, it's not. I don't like it. Second of all, it's purple.
Yeah.
It's just faded.
This is the thing. People keep going like, it looks nice, but I'm like, I wanted it red.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like...
Don't tell me it looks good. It's not what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, the brighter you go, the quicker it fades. Because I used to have neon pink hair, like a proper, I think the actual dye was called, like, flamingo pink or UV pink or something. It used to be proper bright, and that would last maybe, like, a week, 2 weeks before it went to a kind of pastel-y pink.
Yeah. This was really neon when we first did it. And then I've washed it like 3 or 4 times since then. And it's like every time I get out of the shower, I'm like, no.
But I do really, really like this episode.
No, I love this episode. This is one of those moments where I'm like, God, season 2 is just so good.
Yeah.
Because this is like incredible.
And I think what is brilliant about this season it still has that magic of season 1 of being like, here is a huge load of lore about these characters.
Yeah.
You know?
This is like everything we're learning about this person.
Yeah, and I think it's the perfect time to put an Ana Lucia backstory episode in, because we were drip-fed information at the start of the season, and then we kind of get this impression of her as very sort of like, you know, like badass, but also no nonsense, quite mean, quite, you know, in charge, but like runs a tight ship, you know?
Yeah.
And she's quite nasty to people like Sawyer and you know, to Michael as well, saying like there's no point going after Walt and all of these things. Where was I going with that? I've just got distracted by how great Ana Lucia is. No, so we get all of that over the first maybe 5-6 episodes, whatever. Then we get the shooting of Shannon.
Yeah.
Then we get everything that's happened to them on the island up until this point to contextualize the shooting of Shannon. And then we get even further contextualization. We find out who Ana Lucia is as a person, why she is like that. And I think it's so excellent. I think it's really so well done.
I think it's really well timed, and I think also, like, we love Ana Lucia, and we always did from the moment we met her, but I know she was a bit of a sort of contentious character in the fandom. Like, I think some people didn't like her very much, and I think this moment especially, I know when it was first being released, people didn't really like Shannon either, but I think this was probably a moment where, like, you might turn on Ana Lucia a little bit by being like, oh, well, you know, she killed one of them. But then it's like, then we get her backstory and we learn more about her and you get more attached to her as a character. So I think in that sense, the timing is very good as well.
And also, crucially, like, she reacts in that way on the island as well. I think what she does on the island in this episode is really vital as well. Yeah. Because it's like, she doesn't just waltz into camp. She goes, they're not going to accept me because I killed one of them.
Yeah, she's very aware that what she's done has, like, fucked it all up, you know?
Yeah, even though it was an accident. Yeah, I think this is one of the episodes where it's more even, I'd say, between on-island and backstory.
Yeah, it felt very half and half. I was a bit shocked by the structure of the episode. I feel like I remember, when you remember the episodes, you kind of remember, like, the on-island plotline and the flashback plotline as, like, separate things. I don't know if you do as well, but, like, I'm kind of like, I can put all of, like, her flashback scenes in order in my head, but, like, the gaps between, I don't know, I can't remember any specific examples, but I was, like, quite interested in the sort of timing of it, you know, and where the different reveals came. And I always think it's really interesting to get, like, the character's version of events, like, in, like, it's happened before. Again, I can't think of any examples, but, like,
you're doing great.
I'm doing a good job. Where, like, they tell the other characters what happened, and then we see the sort of more objective what happened in the flashbacks, you know? Mm-hmm. Or, like, the only example that comes to mind is, like, it's not the same, but with, like, Sawyer, how, like, you get him telling what happened to him as a child to Kate, and then his next episode, you see it happening, and it's like, you know what's happening because you know the story, but also you get to see it not the way he told it. Yeah. And you get, like, a sort of different perspective on it, you know?
Yeah. And, like, crucially, whenever information is withheld, we get to actually see it in the flashbacks, the truth of what happened. Because obviously, like, later on in the episode, Ana Lucia doesn't tell Saeed that she killed that guy. She says they never found him. Which, even in and of itself, that would have been devastating, right? Yeah. Like, imagine if that was the reality. They just never found him.
Yeah. No, that would be almost worse, you know?
Well, I think from her perspective, yeah. Because she clearly wants to take the law into her own hands.
Yeah.
You know, she wants that satisfaction of killing him, do you know what I mean? And as much as it's, like, traumatized her, and she is having to deal with the guilt of taking his life and all of these things, and she's clearly, like, experiencing a lot of you know, like she says, like, I feel dead and things like that, like, you know, but I do think she wanted to kill him and on some level needed to.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree. Because it's like, if it was about just, like, justice, you know, she could have gotten him put in prison, but, like, she had to do it herself, her own way. And I think that is the kind of thing that makes her almost well-suited to being on the island, where you just kind of do things on your own. What's the word?
Like improvising.
Yeah, sort of like on your own judgment, how to deal with all the situations. Like, there's not like the amount of times, like, with, you know, they've made a plan and then it's like, and Charlie just killed the guy. Like, that kind of thing happens a lot on the island, and she's been doing that off the island already, so she's, like, already in that. So there's something I want to address.
Oh, okay.
Before we really get into the meat of this episode.
Okay.
You've recoiled. You've recoiled from me, Ariel.
What are you saying? What's this gonna be?
No, that's just, okay, so Anna Lucia is a police officer.
Ah, okay.
That's the lore drop of this episode.
Yeah.
And I have seen a lot of takes online calling her, like, propaganda. And I just want to say, I think that's complete bullshit.
I don't think it's propaganda at all.
Because she's almost the opposite of propaganda. Like, because
she's like
Lucia,
massively corrupt.
First of all, it's not a good police officer.
No.
She's corrupt. She takes the law into her own hands. She is, on the island, not a great leader. Like, we like her as a character, sure, but she is objectively horrible to everyone.
Yeah.
You know, she's not, and also, like, I think...
It's good telly.
It's
right?
Absolutely.
It's good telly to watch her, but, like, if I was there, I would
like
I would be terrified of her.
And I don't think, like, something like, you know, something that is propaganda is supposed to be making the police look good.
Yeah.
She does not do that.
No, I don't think she does at all.
So I just don't, and, like, I think, like, you know, it's a bit of, I don't like that kind of outlook also, because it's like, Anna Lucia is a woman of colour in that position, and that definitely has an influence on the way she's written, but also the way that her character, like, is contextualised, and, like, a lot of the kind of propaganda is pushing, like, a racist ideology, and so I think calling her that is not, it's just not true. It's just, like, it's just not, she's a bad cop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, everyone is free to interpret the show in whatever way that they see fit, and these are just our opinions, but I find it hard to find evidence in the show to suggest that her portrayal is propaganda. No,
I don't think so. I think, like, you know, if people don't like her because she's a police officer who is, you know, not good, then, like, that's fine, that's okay, and I respect that completely, because that's, like, fair enough. But I think, like, the word propaganda gets thrown around a little bit, and it's like, not every piece of media with a police officer in is propaganda, you know?
Yeah. And also, I think it's so important to have a police officer in this show.
Yeah.
Right? I think it would be remiss if it didn't have it. I mean, look at how pissed off I got at the marshal being killed, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, that dynamic is so interesting.
It's that, like, moral code. And
yeah.
the, like, moral superiority of, like, I'm an officer of the law. Feathers McGraw just fell off the table. And, like, so I have the authority here.
Yeah, it's about authority, it's about order, it's about rules, it's about society, you know, like, the police, whether, you know, they should or shouldn't have power in our society, but when you remove everyone and put them on an island where they're forming a new society, it's like, do the police have any power? Should the police have any power? Do we have our own kind of police? You know, I mean, Saeed literally in this episode reminds us of how he tortured Sawyer, you know, that how do all of these things fit in with each other, you know? And it's like, you know, the island isn't the blank slates, but it also is.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting, and as much as I'm like, you know, I am glad that Anna Lucia is a police officer, because I think it's really interesting to have a character who has worked in that profession now on the island.
Yeah.
Crucially, she's not currently a police officer.
No,
My
she's
guess
not.
is she was dismissed from her job once they found out she shot that man.
Yes, she's not a police officer anymore, as we now know. But yeah, and I think like Anna Lucia being a police officer is really interesting to me as well in terms of parallels with Jack.
Yeah.
Because it's like you look at these like the kind of first responders, right? They're like the, you know, the emergency room doctor and the police officer, and how drastically differently they've dealt with the situation.
Yes. That's really good. That's a really good point.
They're both the leaders.
Yeah.
They both have their same gender parent figure is in the same profession, so they've been like brought into it clearly as like a family thing.
Yeah.
You know, Jack says he says like he didn't really want to be a doctor, it's like a family thing. Like that obviously is a similar situation to what Anna Lucia is in, and then looking at how the two groups have gone so completely differently when like doctors and police kind of come under the same bracket almost in our society. Like, I wish we had a firefighter.
Yeah,
Complete
where's our firefighter? Yeah. I really like that. And really unpacking the kind of parallels between Jack and Anna Lucia, because we get them paralleled from the off in that they're both the leader.
Yeah.
And it's a really good point that they've probably naturally assumed that role because they're both used to being in crisis
having
situations.
to be in authority, yeah. And like both of their jobs, as we've seen, have forced them to take that authority.
Yeah.
In crisis situations. It's the kind of thing that they can naturally, you know, do.
Yeah. But it seems it's interesting when you think about like Jack, the way that Jack behaves. It seems like his job is almost his whole life. You know, like he's all about fixing everything, and he's all about being this incredible surgeon, and like it's really important to him. Whereas for Anna Lucia, her revenge was more important than keeping her job.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to me, it feels a bit like that moment where she shoots the guy almost feels like the kind of equivalent moment in Jack's life is when he gets his dad fired. Of that, like...
And yet they are so drastically different in terms of dramatics.
Of course, yeah! They're so completely different, but it's that
Fundamentally, Jack is in a suit in a meeting. Yeah. Whereas Anna Lucia is
a gun.
Pulling out a gun in the middle of a parking lot.
But it's that kind of betraying the thing that they were, like, raised into, you know? And that, like, their job. But though what Jack's doing is doing his job despite what his dad told him, whereas what Anna Lucia is doing is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They're really interesting as parallel characters to me, and I think, like, I think the show doesn't do enough with putting them against each other as characters, as much as they could. Because they're really interesting as, like, mirrors of each other, I think. And that, like, the kind of end shot of this episode where they're, like, staring at each other, I think is almost that exact, you know, you're looking at someone who is, like, it's like, we're not so different, you and I, but also we're so different.
Yes. I really liked the way that was framed, the kind of, like, big physical distance between them. It's like the two groups meeting, of course, and like everyone else is having these hugs and everything, and it's like Anna Lucia spends a lot of this episode talking about how she's better off alone, how she's supposed to be alone, and all of these things. She's isolating herself, and she's physically isolated, but she's also paralleled.
And she's saying, I'm better off being alone, and Jack's saying we have to live together.
Or we'll die alone. Very good point.
And that, like, also it coming back around to, like, when they met in the airport and they didn't know any of these things about each other.
Yeah.
But now, you know, I was like, I don't know, did Anna Lucia know that Jack was the doctor?
Yeah, you know? Probably not.
Because there's that moment of recognition where Echo says, Anna Lucia made a mistake, and Jack goes, Anna Lucia.
Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up so casually! That's my favourite part of this episode.
So good.
I absolutely love that. That's a scene that's so important to Ariel. Let's talk about it now because you just threw it into conversation while I was unprepared. This scene is so fucking good. I love this scene. I love the way that they're like... it's all underscored by Jack loading the rifles, and the camera work is really nice. It's all like very quick movements, and like you don't quite get the full framing of the shot, and it's like...
it's one of those moments where I think the being in the hatch is done really well, because it's all very tight.
Yes.
We talked about like, suddenly we're in a really small enclosed space, and you really get that energy from these scenes, like they're trapped in there. Which is really
absolutely. Good. And like you only... It's like you're looking at it from their eyes, because you see, like, your eyes are focused on Jack's hands loading the rifle or something, and then you look at his face, and then you look at, you know, it's done really, really well. And I wrote down as well, like, even Michael starts to look scared. When Jack is sort of getting very frantic and stuff, and it's like... Michael's the one who's kind of suggested this, or at least he's on board, and then he starts to be like, wait, hang on a minute, and then we get the stop! So cool. Echo is so cool.
The way Echo walks into the room and immediately commands it.
Yeah.
I think that's just the energy, it's the gravitas he has at any given moment, but I think it's really good that he's able to, like, he's the outsider, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to just... have that authority still, and that kind of like don't...
Absolutely. And the scene before where Jack's trying to interrogate him, and he's just like, you're just gonna sit there, and he's like, what does he say? Anything I say will only make you angry. So yes, I am just gonna sit here. Absolute scenes.
He says, I'm not gonna piss you off, Jack.
Yeah. He just knows. He's got such a calmness and an authority. You're absolutely right. And we have the first meeting of John and Echo in this episode as well. The hello. Hello.
John and Echo.
Guys, you don't understand. All they say to each other is hello, but it's so important.
Oh my god, John and Echo. We'll get to it. But oh my god.
Hello. Oh, yes. But so then Echo's saying, like, what do you want? Peace? Revenge? Justice!
He's so great.
He's so great. And then he says, Anna Lucia made a mistake. And I genuinely, 6 seasons of this show, he's the protagonist. He's in basically every single episode. I think that's the best bit of acting Matthew Fox does in the whole thing.
Wow. Okay, disagree, but it is good.
When he goes, his reaction to hearing Anna Lucia...
It is brilliant.
It gave me chills the first time I watched it, because I was like, that is so wonderful. It is like, you can tell by his face and the way that he repeats her name, he is remembering and latching onto something before all of this shit happened. And it's like, he's suddenly transported back to before the crash, and you just... We're so far gone. We've forgotten about the plane at this point. Do you know what I mean? We're so deep into all of this stuff. He's in a hatch underground, and he's like, Shannon's been killed, blah, 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 blah. Like you're so... And then it just is like suddenly brought back. And it's like how far they've all come. I just loved it.
It's so great. And I think there's an element of like resignation in it that I really love as well. Where like Jack this whole time has been like, it's not fate. You know, it's not, like, shut up, John, basically, you know, stop going on about, like, we're meant to be here. And this feels like a moment where you indisputably, it's fate, you know? It's like, this is someone that he knows.
Yeah.
And not just someone he knows from before, because that could be more, that almost feels more coincidental, that someone you knew in your life was on your plane. But like someone you met in the airport that was on your flight that you said you'd find again. And now they've come back, and he kind of goes like, it's like, to me there's a little bit of like of course it's Anna Lucia, you know? Just a little bit.
I don't know about that. I guess maybe there's a hint, but I would say it's less resignation and more a kind of reconciliation, if you're going to let me be fancy. There's a kind of, he has to suddenly reconcile the memory he has of her in the airport with everything he's learnt about this mysterious leader figure who's just accidentally shot Shannon. you know, and it's like, how do those two collide? Collision being the title of this episode. And I think he's trying to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, like, it's gone from, like, a faceless person, almost an other, in the opposite way to how Ana Lucia perceives Shannon, almost like someone he knows nothing about, or he knows that they've killed someone, and then it's like, no, I do know this person. I know her drink order.
Yeah.
Shit drink order, can I say? Can I say tequila and tonic sounds disgusting?
I don't like tonic. I do like tequila, but I don't like tonic.
I don't like either of them.
Tequila's an acquired taste, to be fair. Do you know, I work at a bar, and the tequila that we sell, there's like an advert on the TV screens for it that plays. Like, there's loads of adverts that play for the different drinks that we sell. And the advert for the tequila is, the tagline is, tequila that actually tastes good. I stopped working and just stared at that for a good 5 minutes, because I was like, I feel like that's the shittest tagline you could possibly do, because you're like alienating people who actually like the taste of tequila, who are the ones who are going to be buying your product, because it's like, oh, so you're saying that my tastes are bad. Oh, so you're shitting on me while I try and buy your product. Oh, so you're saying that this is going to taste different to the tequila that I like because it actually tastes good. And then it's just so dumb.
I think that's hilarious. That would convince me.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't think it would convince anyone.
That would convince me. Because I don't like tequila, so I'd be like, well, if you know it tastes like shit, then I trust you.
Yeah, it's like them going, look, we know tequila's bad. You're a tequila company. What are you talking about? Anyway.
Makes me laugh.
Anyway, yes, so I do think that is my favourite moment of the episode, although the scene between Saeed and Ana Lucia is a very, very, very close second.
I have to say, I think if you had to ask me to pick a favourite moment of this episode, like, moment, not scene, I would say when Echo comes out of the trees carrying Sawyer, and Kate's like, Jack, look. And then he just goes, where is the doctor?
I mean...
Peak!
That is amazing.
Hilarious. They don't even know about the tail section, and then just this huge man
they must
carrying a appears deceased Sawyer.
Shitting themselves. Oh my God. Yeah. Hilarious. The fact that they're playing golf as well.
I know.
It's so bad.
It's like they are good. They are good. The tail section have been going through it pretty consistently. There is, like, I swear, on the classic Lostpedia, in the timeline, it's like the day they build the golf course is like the day something really intense happens to the tail section.
Oh, probably.
I'm pretty sure they, like, parallel.
It's like Nathan in the Pit or something.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it says like the front section build a golf course, and the guy with the rash plays golf with them, and then it's like Cindy's been kidnapped. It's great.
Yeah. And I do, because we don't really have, like, a comedy B-plot. It's, like, the start of that plot line. So it's, like, the beginning of the episode, it's all comedy. It starts
out as a bit of a, like, silly... There's the scene with Rose as well. And
yeah,
she's like,
no reason to talk with your mouth full.
There's a great outtake of that scene. Is it that scene? I'm sure there is. Where she like says that, and then he tries to carry on with his line, but he actually can't get it out because of the food. That golf ball, it scares me every time though, because I always think, like, what if that just hits someone in the head? You know, when the golf ball, like, comes down into the water?
Yeah.
First of all, that water looks grotty as fuck.
I know, that's what they're drinking. Ugh.
And I'm like, what if Jack had been still bent over trying to get the drink, and then he just gotten conked in the head? Boom, Jack's dead.
I mean, imagine.
Lucia's the leader now.
Like, out of everything that happens on the island.
Death by golf ball. What a way to go.
Oh, wait, I forgot about the ending of the episode. That could be my favourite moment. I cried when we first watched this.
Yeah.
Just because you mentioned Rose then, I forgot. I was like, this episode's actually really good. It's so funny because it's like, you were talking about how you remember the episodes. I'm like, oh, it's the Ana Lucia flashback one. Right.
So what I remember is Anna Lucia and Saeed, but I don't think, oh, this is also the episode where Rose and Banana reunite.
Yeah.
This is also the episode with, Echo in the hatch, and this is,
I think I don't rate it as highly in my head, but I should.
I do.
Because it's really, I do really like
I've always
this one.
rated this episode really highly, because I love Anna Lucia.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I love her so much more than anything, and I'm really normal about her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, like, so... I think, like, in terms of composition, this episode is just amazing as well. Because, like, you talked about, like, the way, the, like, cinematography of the scene in the hatch, where it's all cut together. I think a lot of the way this episode is shot is really, really clever. And I also think, like, the kind of recurring motifs across the, like, backstory, it's very subtle. But, like, for example, like, the amount of times there's, like, babies crying in the episode.
That's really interesting.
Comes up, the first scene, she says the family with the screaming baby moved away. And then she's, like, upset about it, because she's like, now it's too quiet.
Oh, how did I not even realise that?
And it's the crying baby that freaks her out.
Yeah.
With the family with the TV.
I mean, I think I did pick up on that one, because it's quite obvious, like, there's a shot of the baby, and then that's when she pulls the gun out.
And she says,
but
like,
I
take
didn't
your baby
think
upstairs.
about, like, the implications of her having, lost a child.
Yeah, and then the next door neighbours have a newborn baby.
And then it moves out.
And, like, she asks Saeed if he has any kids. That's a bit more of that's a less subtle one. But, like, all of that and the previous occurrence of her being very attached to the kids from the tail section.
Yeah.
And saying she promised them that she'd get them home, and being like, where are the kids, is the first thing she asks all of the people who got kidnapped. And it suddenly all falls into place right in that final flashback scene. Of just being like, oh my god.
Yeah.
This is such a huge... And, like, there are a lot of kind of fertility-based plotlines in this show. If you've watched the whole thing...
So many pregnancies.
You do get sick of the pregnancies. But this, I think, is the... I would say I would call this the sort of most compelling of the pregnancy plotlines.
Ooh.
Maybe... I mean, obviously Claire and the psychic...
Yeah.
It's big.
I would say Claire and in the pilot, the initial impact of being like, oh, there's someone heavily pregnant on the plane.
But I think there's some stuff that happens later, like post-birth, that I'm less attached to,
Sure.
But this is, like, I just think it's done really, really well.
It is.
And, like, to immediately garner sympathy for a character as well.
My god, yeah. I mean, we talk about what does Lost love to do? Humanize a villain, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't personally perceive Anna Lucia as a villain, but if that were, some people didn't like her or whatever, it's like, what we're presented with on the island, what the show does is always contextualizes that, and we go, she's been through so much grief and pain, and that's why she's like this,
And that's why she can't react to these things in a normal way, in a healthy way. And clearly, like, I mean, she was with a therapist in that first scene, but I'm not sure how helpful he was if she still, reacted like that on her first day back at the job.
My guess was that this was some kind of, like, mandatory therapy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know that's a thing the police obviously have to do because they experience so much crime.
Especially with what she's gone through. My guess is she had some time off, and then they made they said 4 months of therapy. Did you notice that? 4
I didn't notice that. But
months of therapy that she's been in.
I wrote down, he tried to kill you. No. Which I just don't remember the context of that. I think it was in the therapy scene, maybe?
Is it early?
No, it wasn't. I remembered it's Echo, it's not Anna Lucia. It's when she's, like, taking down Saeed, and Echo is like, let him go, and then she goes, he tried to kill you, and he just goes, no.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not tying him up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I really love their dynamic. Because
I love this.
He just stands up to her like it's nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because look at him, he's not going to be intimidated by her.
Echo can take anyone.
Who would win in a fight, though? Echo or Anna Lucia?
Does Anna Lucia have a gun?
No. Fist fight.
Hand to hand.
I actually don't know.
I actually really have no idea. Because she does, like, she takes Goodwin.
Hand to hand.
Hand to hand. And he's pretty big.
Yeah.
Was.
R.I.P. I reckon they would simply just fight forever.
I think it would go on. They'd be like...
It's like, what's that god wrestling Jacob or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, what?
They just went on and on. I think they would, they would, like, put them in the pit and they would fight each other. And then you'd go back, like, 6 hours later and they'd still be
It's like a gladiatorial sport. Yeah.
Place your bets.
Yeah.
Release snakes into
And then it's just like, after an hour of going, yeah, it's like... Are we gonna wrap this up, or they're still just going at it?
Yeah, I think it would just go on forever.
I think it would.
Perpetual. The sort of unstoppable force versus immovable object, almost.
Real.
Aren't
they really are. They really are.
Echo's the object. And Lucy is the force. But what I really like about this is that the others, like Libby and Bernard, also... and Michael and Jin, like, are all standing up to her in this episode. I think it's like once Echo does it, they're all like, no, yeah, you're right. We're not scared of you anymore.
Yeah.
Saeed's here.
Yeah, I think it changes. The introduction of Saeed changes the dynamic massively for Michael and Jin because they're like, the camp is close. Jack is who we get to sort these things out. Let's go talk to Jack.
Also, like, Jin is like, my wife.
My wife. Bernard very
like,
much,
my
wife. Bernard obviously has a new motivation now. And I think Libby, she says this as well. She's very much reminded of Nathan when Anna Lucia has Saeed tied up. Because obviously, I think she feels very guilty about that. Because, you know, he was an innocent man who got killed because they suspected him. Because Anna Lucia suspected him.
She'd encouraged that a little bit. Like, there's that scene with Libby and Anna Lucia where she's saying, oh, he creeps me out.
They
I don't
all
like
convinced each other. It was like an echo chamber kind of thing, you know. And I think she feels very guilty about that. And she was probably also quite frightened of Anna Lucia in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
Of course.
You know? So I think she's reminding of that, and she's like, I don't want this to happen again.
Yeah,
basically.
I think it's a really interesting thing that, like, in the immediate aftermath, obviously Saeed goes for blood, and obviously Anna Lucia is like, he's gonna kill me, let's tie him up. And it's like, you completely understand why both of them react the way they do, and then it's like the longer they get time to, like, cool off, the longer they're able to see that the other person is just, like, a human being, you know?
I love their dynamic.
You talked about, like, minute, like, moments of acting with, like, Jack when he hears Anna Lucia's name, but when Anna Lucia is telling Michael, go get me a bag with, like, food and a change of clothes, there's one shot of Saeed's face where it just shifts, and it's just such a perfect little moment where he's obviously thinking about the exact same thing that he did, you know, to leave after he tortured Sawyer because he feels terrible about it, and that he suddenly just goes, once again, we're not so different.
Yeah.
He's like, we've done the same thing, we've both made a mistake.
Yes, he understands that she feels guilty about it, and this is the way that she's expressing that guilt.
Yeah, and he understands the exact same thing of, like, he knows he's done terrible things, and he obviously feels really bad about them.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's almost on the, you know, he's on the other side now. He's thinking, like, he's all of his own victims, almost, in that moment. And that he then suddenly gets it.
Oh, it's so good.
They're so interesting as a
so
pair.
good. It's so good.
That scene where Saeed and Anna Lucia have been left alone, oh my god.
It's so tense. It's so great. But before we get there, I was going to say you're completely right about, like, the levels of cooling off throughout. Because we get the first scene, which is this really brutal fight between Echo and Saeed, right, in the mud.
Yeah.
And everything. They're really going for each other. And then I really liked as well how the second scene that we get, he instantly screams, untie me.
Yes.
Instantly. Top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Untie, he's shaking his head. Untie me!
The amount of screaming Saeed does in this episode.
But then we also get, like, I wrote down as well, in that scene, there's a nice moment of vulnerability from Anna Lucia where she says to Echo, don't leave, please. Yeah. And I'm like, she's kind of freaking out right now. You know, like, she never really had a plan, right?
Yeah.
There was never really a plan for anything that's happened on the island. She's just been reacting to everything. And that's what she's doing now, but she's doing it in such a way that is kind of spiraling.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think it's because she is remembering what we're seeing in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
I think it's because of that. I think it's because she views the others in a different way to viewing the crash survivors. And so obviously killing one of them, it does not resonate as hard with her.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think she really feels bad about killing Goodwin.
No.
Because it's like, he kidnapped loads of their people.
He deserved it
and he
in
killed
her mind,
Nathan
yeah.
and, like, all of that.
Should you kill Goodwin? Maybe you should.
That I do think, we quote, should you kill me, maybe you should, all the time, but I do think the extension being maybe you were meant to is very...
Yeah, I forgot about that, because we always go, should you kill me? Maybe you should. And then maybe you were meant to is really interesting when we're looking at a grander scale of fates and everything.
Yeah, and Saeed being a much more sceptical character, but now he's seen Walt in the forest, so we forget that happened like an hour ago.
Oh my god, yeah. Insane.
So it's like, that's also, you know, I mean, the timeline of this kind of makes no sense, because why is it daytime again? But we won't talk about that.
I guess they were there all night. I
guess.
I guess it happened. I guess Shannon being shot happened quite close to sunrise.
Yeah, but wasn't it the evening when they ran away?
It's been too long since we recorded.
I don't remember. The timeline doesn't quite work, but it's okay. We forgive them. But then, like, that, yeah. And also, like, when he sees Michael, like, does Saeed think he really saw, like, the real Walt? Or, like, what does he think he saw? Because then it's like, now he's seeing Michael and Jin, and when he finds out what happened to them,
yeah,
then
and
that,
to Walt,
like, is a whole other layer of, like, shit going through Saeed's head. I think removing Sawyer from the equation early on really changes the dynamic as well, because obviously what, like, a lot of them have all been going on is, like, they're defying Anna Lucia because they're being like, we have to save this guy. And then once Echo gets him out of the picture, it's like they suddenly all kind of have their own motivations back, almost, you know? Because it's like, Sawyer's been taken to the doctor, he's gonna be alright, supposedly. And then it's like, you know, suddenly it's like Bernardo's like, I want to go see my wife, and all of that.
Yeah.
And like Michael... I love when Michael gets up to go to Saeed, and she's like, sit back down. He's like, I'm getting him water. You want to shoot me? Shoot me.
I know, but I'm like, don't do that, because she will.
She will.
She fired that warning shot, didn't she? Right at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't believe that. I'd forgotten that, because I was like, she's literally just accidentally killed someone, and you're going to start firing the gun again? Waving it around?
She's freaking out.
She's freaking out.
Yeah.
And I really like, there are loads of really good shots in this episode, just kind of like establishing shots to get you into the scene, of her sat down, holding the gun, usually very close to her face. And every time I just live, because she's like, you can, not only is it really cool, like the way it looks, but you can just tell how she's like very uncertain, she's very comfortable with the weapon. It's like her safety blanket, right? But she's still spiraling, and you can see that, but she's trying to keep it together, and I just think it's great. It's
brilliant. No, it is really brilliant. And it's just,
Did you notice that Maggie Grace got immediately bumped down to special guest star?
I didn't, but that's quite funny.
I noticed that in the opening credits. I was like, damn, she's you know, her body's not even cold yet. She's special guest star.
Do you think that was really her, or do you think that was like a dummy?
No, I think it was her, given that she was listed as special guest star.
Well, she was in like the flashbacks, wasn't she? Not the they're like previously on.
Oh.
And sometimes people get credited because if you speak, you have to get credited, don't you?
Possibly, but I think it would be way more effort to make like a lifelike.
I think so. Dummy. I mean, also we know this. Our mum acted in a TV show where she got killed, and she did play her own dead body.
She did indeed.
But she said, to be fair, they were like, "Oh, do you mind getting in the body bag?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'll do it.
I'll do it.
She was like, sure, you're paying me.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, she's there. She's lying on the ground in a couple of scenes, isn't she? There is actually a really nice scene where Anna Lucia goes over to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow. Because it's kind of like, you know, these people never really met. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Shannon is just a corpse now. And, like, I think it would have been really interesting to see how they would have actually interacted when they were both alive, you know?
I mean, they would have been very interesting characters to put against each other.
Yeah. And I think you're completely right, circling back to what you were saying about Sawyer. I think it's really crucial that Sawyer's the one who's taken out of the equation by being, like, on death's door, because he would have behaved so differently in this situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, he may well have rugby tackled Anna Lucia.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't think any of the others would think to do that. Well, Jin would, but he wouldn't. Because he wouldn't respond in that kind of... He wouldn't be like, I'm gonna just run.
Yeah.
He would think it through, I think.
A little bit more, yeah. Do you think the reason why Anna Lucia hates Sawyer so much is because he's a criminal?
She's like, I could arrest you right now.
Okay, Mr. Con Man.
You think you're smarter than me?
Going behind bars. Yeah. But so I need to... There's one bit in this episode I kind of don't understand. When Echo picks up Sawyer, and he's like, I'm going to take him back to his camp, and Anna Lucia says, like, don't leave me. And she says something like, he wouldn't save you. And then Echo says, I'm not doing it for him, I'm doing it for me. What's that about?
Yeah. My guess is it's kind of like so we know when he first arrived, he killed those two guys, and then he took his vow of silence, didn't he?
Yeah.
For 40 days.
I guess he doesn't want someone else to die on his watch.
I'm guessing it's that, but it is a bit, yeah.
It feels like there's more to that I'm not sure really what it is.
And it doesn't ever really get explored,
I don't think so. To my memory, at least. That never really gets unpacked more than just learning more of Echo's motivations as a character. But it read as a little bit rogue to me.
But also, equally, it could be that Echo knows that that's the best thing to say in this situation to convince Anna Lucia.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Echo is playing 5D chess right now.
He is, to be fair, and then he gets thrown into the hatch. I mean, he experiences the hatch. Let's talk about that.
Oh my god, yeah!
I mean, I know Echo's been in the other one.
Yes.
But, like, this one has, like, technology in it and stuff.
Because, I mean, I forgot that until there was that one shot of him, like, touching the Dharma logo, and I was like, oh yes, because he recognises it from his hatch.
Yeah. And he must be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Insane. And that he has the ability to then have that authority in that scene when he's been thrown into that kind of situation, I think really speaks to Echo as a character, like, and who he is. That he's still able to, like, hold his own when he's presented with all of these new characters in this whole insanely foreign situation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I truly think the word to describe Echo is gravitas. I said it earlier, and every time I bring him up now, all that's going around my head is just the word gravitas over and over again.
Absolutely.
It feels like the descriptor.
He has gravitas, he has mysticism, he has intelligence. I actually think he's one of the smartest characters.
Yeah, definitely. He's very, like, socially intelligent also.
Yeah.
He seems to be really good at navigating these really intense situations. I like that when he realises that Jack recognises Anna Lucia, that he's like, I'll bring you. You know? I think he knows that that's a good... Because he knows that Anna Lucia is a person. He's not going to do something insane. Even though maybe taking the doctor away from the dying guy isn't the best idea.
Yes, so he's lacking some intelligence in that respect.
But also that's like Jack was planning on going anyway.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that Jack is just like, I have to be involved in every single situation, what I would assume as Echo is, oh, well, Sawyer's okay enough for Jack to leave.
Yes.
You know?
Whereas the
Whether that's
reality
true.
is, no, I must be involved. Yeah.
So least favourite moment of the episode, Kate's weird...
Oh, see, this is what I thought you were going to bring up when you said there's one bit I don't understand. I simply don't understand. I shrimply don't understand
like,
why this scene is included.
You know the sort of like, look at me, this isn't you, except it's like, take this pill. It's all so weird. Kate, I'm
don't
not a fan
like
of
it.
in this episode.
No, I don't like it. Well, I like her at the beginning. I wrote down actually just like 2 lines next to each other here. I wrote, Kate is a golf girl boss, Jack is a knob.
Yeah.
That's how I described that scene.
That's a fun scene. That is I like
He's
that
like,
she's...
Kate, I'm a doctor. Actually piss off right now.
That's really weird.
Leave the island. You're excommunicated.
Leave the island.
Get off. Swim away.
Whenever Jack tries to have, like, any remote levels of swagger, it always goes really badly for him. It's like, it's a return of if I was checking you out, you'd know about it.
Oh,
you know?
God, I forgot about that bit. I just cringed. It is, though, because this is ultimately, he's trying to flirt a bit,
He's
isn't
trying,
it?
he's
and
trying
he's just
really
got such
hard.
a crippling lack of riz. It's so embarrassing.
He's trying, it's like, it's the best... The way that Jack gets bitches, clearly, is by being completely confused and not actually intentionally trying to flirt.
No, whenever he tries, it goes badly.
Because look what happened when he tried to flirt with Sydney. She went, okay, and walked away again. And then ended up in the tail section. Maybe if Jack hadn't tried to flirt with her,
she'd be alright!
She would have been in the front section. But yeah, but I like that Kate is like playing golf with Charlie and Hurley also.
Yes.
That feels fun, because it's like Kate and Charlie are never really put together in scenes.
No.
But it's like right in the pilot episode, you know, it's the 3 of them all together.
Yeah.
And so I think like they are like, you know, friends.
Yeah, and it's nice when like our protagonists get a bit of downtime.
Yeah, and when they kind of hang out with the B-plot characters.
Yeah. So I do really like that, and I think Kate is, you know, she's doing well when she's like, well, you know, put your money where your mouth is, and the other 2 are like, ooh!
Yeah.
Like, I liked that
It's
bit.
like, it's almost cartoony, that,
Yeah.
like, that kind of, like, them being, encouraging them in the background, like, Dumb and Dumber over there.
Yeah,
going,
basically.
"Oh." That is fun. And I like the sort of, like, that he talks all the, like, real golf skill as accuracy, and then they actually play and he immediately fucks it. That's really funny.
That is funny. That's hilarious.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And Kate, she's good. She's good in the scene where Echo comes out of the trees also.
Yes.
Because the way she, like, her demeanour changes completely, and then she's like, he's right behind me, isn't he? You know?
That's kind of exactly what happened. But yeah, it's just as soon as Sawyer gets brought back into the equation, I'm like, oh, I really don't like Kate and Sawyer as a pairing.
No.
And I don't like this weird sort of like, I'm gonna whisper in your ear, you gotta take your pill, okay?
It's really weird. It's like, it's giving like she's gonna use her feminine ways to get him to take his medicine. And I'm like, why is she doing that?
Literally, what are you talking about?
ASMR Kate convinces you to take your pill in the hedge.
That's literally what it is.
Sawyer, okay. Jack's like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's the fact that Jack is watching this whole thing happen that I can't get past.
Jack is right there being like, so this is weird.
Yeah, this must be so... He's in the cuck chair.
He's in the cuck
That's
chair.
what's happening right now.
He is in the cuck chair.
Jack got cucked by a literal unconscious man.
By a corpse. He got cucked by a corpse.
That's got to be the title of this week. Jack got cucked by a corpse.
It's really weird. The one thing I will say though, like, Sawyer in that scene, how aware do you think he is of kind of what's going on?
I think he's got 5% awareness.
Because it's like, I don't know if it's like his reactions from sort of, what was it? In whatever episode was where he, like, died in Michael's arms. Whatever that scene was.
Yeah, that one. See, that was a much more romantic, compelling
was a
scene.
much more emotionally compelling scene. But, like, from that point to here, like, obviously before that he was trying to be like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know if after that point he's, like, almost, like, accepted that he's gonna die.
I think he's simply blacking in and
But
out
I
of
think he's
consciousness.
probably just, like, get the fuck away from my mouth.
Yeah. I don't think he knows what's going on at all. I think the only reason Kate's able to convince him is because she's trying to relax him, I guess. So somewhere in the back of the subconscious brain or unconscious brain, I don't know. But, like, it's like, this is safe.
Yeah, and I guess if he does recognise Kate's voice,
maybe
he might be like, I'm okay. But also, surely the same would happen with Jack, because he'd be like, I'm back to the doctor. That's what they keep being like, we're gonna get you to Jack.
Yeah.
So surely if you heard Jack going, hey, open your mouth, you'd be like, oh, well, I'm back.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he can recognise voices.
But I mean, also, maybe he's just like, fuck off, Jack. Don't like you. I have to say, I wanna tell you something that happened to me this morning.
Okay.
Because we brought up Jack and Sawyer and it's made me laugh. So I was on Tumblr about an hour before we started recording, and I discovered maybe my favourite lost Tumblr post of all time.
Oh my god.
Which was titled, "Two Can Play at That Game, Sawyer." And it was a screenshot of someone's notes app with a list of nicknames they'd come up with for him.
Oh, amazing.
But the only one I remember is Brokeback Island, brackets as in, well, if it isn't Brokeback Island every time Jack and Sawyer make eye contact. And that's just really, really stuck with me through the entirety of this episode. And I was like, I'm going to have to bring it up, even if it's not relevant to the conversation.
I can see why. You're just, like, foaming at the mouth.
Well, if it isn't Brokeback Island is the funniest thing. Because having to say that to Sawyer, I think it would maybe kill him.
I'd say the most Brokeback Island moment of this episode is when he's like, when they're like rushing into the hatch and they're like, oh my god, Sawyer, we need to save his life. Quick, put him in the shower and undo his shirt.
Oh no, we have to take all his clothes.
Oh no, we have to get all his hair wet and, like, you know. Yeah. That scene though, this is an advantage of us watching it separately. I did some extra homework. I got some extra credit, Velvet. I'm not sure you did.
Okay. Well, that was my extra credit, Brokeback Island.
Well, and you should get an A for that.
Thank you.
I paused it on the crossword that John is doing.
Oh, I was trying to see what the clue was.
Yes, so I wrote it all down. I paused it and I wrote it all down. So that scene begins with John sat at the computer doing a crossword. Now, where he get that crossword from is an interesting question.
Desmond reads the morning news.
How's he getting the morning news? What morning? What news? What morning? From where? He thinks the whole world is destroyed.
Can you imagine if you're like, wow, the world's still out there then, but every morning you've been finding a newspaper on your doorstep?
The Dharma
look
News.
At them, I guess.
Yeah.
Dharma Initiative crossword book.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a paper.
I mean, in the video, they're supposed to be in there for like 400 days or something, aren't they? So I guess they give them things to...
Yeah, and we found out that Desmond had been there for 3 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he hasn't done the crossword in all that time.
Well, maybe he can't remember what the clues are. I mean, I'm shit at crosswords, personally.
Oh, I'm so bad.
I'm really terrible. So I think I would have attempted one and then put it back on the shelf and then never touched it for the entire 3 years.
Yeah. He was also writing in pencil, so he couldn't, in theory, have rubbed it out.
Can you imagine if he'd rubbed out entirely of Desmond's, like, filled-in crossword and been like, I'm gonna do it?
That's the type of shit John would do.
It's very, very John behaviour. Can you imagine if Desmond came back and was like, do my crossword?
Hashtag my crossword.
My crossword. I worked hard on those.
So, the visible clues that we can see.
Go on.
Number 36, Macbeth Place.
Scotland.
I'm guessing. I don't know the answers to any of these, by the way. 37, Belgian Port.
Not a clue.
Don't know. There's probably, like, loads and loads of layers of relevance to these.
Oh, probably.
Number 38, Robbed.
like stolen or something.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where it's like, oh, it's just like a weird synonym, but it depends on what letters it fits with and stuff. But I was trying to think, I was like, collision, could that work as robbed, maybe?
I don't think so.
But I don't, yeah.
I mean, robbed. She's a police officer, I guess. Is like the sort of relevance of that.
Are you Googling something?
No. Go on.
What are you doing?
Carry on.
What are you doing?
Carry on.
You better not be on Discord.
I'm not on
Discord. Tumblr looking up Brokeback Island.
Brokeback Island.
Number 40, World War... Well, I'm guessing it's World War II movie, but I've actually written World War III movie.
World War III movie.
World War II movie feature, and then there was a colon, and then it said hyph, I think, HYPH dot WD dot. So I'm guessing these are standard crossword abbreviation things, but I just don't know what they are. Hyph, maybe like hyphenated.
I guess it's like if it's two words or there should be a hyphen in the middle.
Yeah, but I don't know what WD could be.
Word?
Hyphenated word?
Maybe.
That seems excessive. I don't know. So if you actually do crosswords, let me know. And then, of course...
Go on.
What are you doing?
I'll tell you after you're done.
Of course, the most important clue is number 42.
Yes.
So number 42 is the one he's actually looking at when we get the shot. And the question is Enkidu's friend. And he actually writes the answer in...
What's the answer?
Gilgamesh.
Okay. Remind me who Gilgamesh is.
I don't know. And then we also can see number 43, less brazen.
Less brazen.
Less brazen.
So what I've done is pulled up the Lostpedia page for crossword puzzle.
Is this the only crossword that is played in the show?
There's two others.
Ooh.
Apparently,
keep your eyes out, guys.
In Walkabout, Shannon is doing a crossword.
What?
On the
Shannon?
beach. But you can't see any of the clues, so she could just be reading a magazine.
Shannon, especially in the early days, all she's doing is sunbathing and talking shit with Beth, the pointing lady.
And then there's an episode in season 3 where Jack has a crossword, apparently. Apparently Gilgamesh is incorrect.
Oh, really?
According to this.
That's really funny. John fills the crossword out wrong, canonically.
Because it's like, if you look at the other words, it doesn't work. So, like, the things that in the across. Because it produces, for example, IMGTATIVE, imgative. And acorns.
Would it be imitative?
Imitative, yeah. And it should be acorns.
I see.
So apparently if you look at the acrosses and, like, replace the words with what they should be, the answer is scripture.
Oh, wow! That's exciting.
Whatever his name was. Enkidu's friend.
Scripture. I like that. I like that very much.
So yeah.
But interesting that he doesn't fill out scripture. Why does he not? Why would you not? If you've gone to the effort of making it something cool and relevant to the show...
Oh, because they're trying to get people to figure it out, aren't they? Shall I find out who Gilgamesh is? I think the Epic of Gilgamesh feels like a phrase I know.
Yeah, it's a book, I'm pretty sure, or a big poem or something. Yeah, let's Google who Gilgamesh
Epic of Gilgamesh. An epic from ancient Mesopotamia.
Hey, John talked about ancient Mesopotamia in one of the previous episodes, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Why did he say?
Does he say that, like, the game is from ancient Mesopotamia, like the black and white stones, like backgammon?
Yeah, maybe.
Or something. It definitely gets brought up because I remember laughing about it. How he just randomly brings up ancient Mesopotamia. So maybe he thinks, oh, I know this one, it must be Gilgamesh because of my Mesopotamia knowledge. And then it's like, wrong. But we've all been there. We've all really confidently put a crossword answer in.
Oh, yeah. The amount of times I've miscounted the letters also, and then gone, why is that not fit?
Yeah.
What? No. Very upsetting. He's the king of Uruk. Well, I can't find any plot summaries. There's no Cliff Notes version of Epic of Gilgamesh.
God damn it.
So that took a weird turn.
Yeah, but it did also make me think about one of my favourite bits from the Simpsons parody of Lost is when Homer is trying to figure everything out. There's a line where he has this like notebook where he's making notes. There's this line where he's looking at his notes and he goes, if the Korean couple can't speak English, then why were they doing a crossword where the answer to 12 down was enigma backwards?
Truly is the shit they were doing.
Truly this show. Truly. And so it made me giggle because I thought about that. And yeah, funny. I don't know if there's any relevance to those, but hey.
Maybe.
Maybe there will be.
Maybe.
Definitely relevance to the scripture thing.
I think so, yeah. The others less so, I don't think. Well, Scotland. Desmond is Scottish.
Oh boy.
Is he Macbeth? Maybe.
These are the questions.
Is he Macbeth? Is he of woman born?
We don't know. He may have just spawned in the hatch.
Hey, speaking of being of woman born.
Incredible segue.
How about the mummy issues this episode?
Yeah.
So every single character has problems with their dad.
Yeah.
But now we've got a problematic mother.
I know.
Women
How
can
fun
be
is
monsters
that?
too.
How fun is that? Mummy issues. And it's not the first because we've
had
Sabrina.
Sabrina sucks. Quite severely.
And Susan as well.
But this is like, yeah.
Although I feel like Walt probably didn't have a bad relationship with Susan.
Walt, no.
He was less aware of...
I think he has issues with Susan now, right? Because, like, he says to Michael at one point, like, why wouldn't she let me see you? But he had issues with the concept of his dad because he was like, my dad doesn't want to see me. But then now he's found out that was Susan's problem. But I think, like, in terms of his childhood,
yeah,
he was chilling.
Yeah.
Apart
from the fact that he may have killed her.
She didn't pay attention to him, so he gave her pneumonia or whatever it was. I mean, she did die when he was disease. 10. That's still like a mother issue,
yeah.
Isn't it? That's a mother issue.
That's a mother issue.
It's not a Walt issue, that's a mother issue. But yeah, I think that's an interesting change of pace.
Yes.
You know? It's like it's
the tail section now. They're not like the other girls. You know, they have mummy issues instead of daddy issues.
Yeah.
Maybe all of them will.
It's a season of mothers, really. Because
Anne Lucia is mother.
Anne Lucia is mothering. No, because like Sabrina was in the last episode and Hurley's mum was featured. She's not bad. But, like, all the mums have been in the flashbacks in this one.
Oh, she was featured.
There was the thing of when she, like, got the phone call from Jesus about his car.
I forgot about that.
So it's a season of mother-law.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 was the season of father-law. This is the season of mother-law. And you could take that to the bank.
You sure can.
I don't really understand that phrase.
No, me neither.
Why am I taking information? Is it because does it mean it's valuable?
Ah, I never clocked that before.
I always just picturing myself going and telling the bank tellers fun facts.
I was like, you can take it to the bank because it's like true and the bank has some kind of authority and they'll go, yep, that's right.
Yeah, I was picturing myself like in front of the desk being like, and season 1 is the season of fathers. But it's only when I've said, why am I taking information to the bank, that I've gone, oh, I think it means it's valuable.
And you need to store it.
Cash it in.
But yeah, interesting that her mum is like the kind of police chief. I think I never really, I feel like it's never really fully explored, that dynamic.
No.
But I think you made a very good point at the top of this episode that it's probably just there to parallel with Jack.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think also it's that entanglement with your job. You can't separate your life from your job. That obviously already that's happened to her in the sense of, like, her job is the reason she lost her baby. But it's also, like, her job is also where her mother is. So she can't go to work and forget about what happened.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
her family. But also fuck Danny, by the way. Can we say that one? Fuck Danny.
Her partner who
her
left
ex-partner who left her after she got shot and miscarried.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's
talk about some shitty men in this show. That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty fucking bad. He's never even, we don't even see him, we don't know anything about him. Well, apart from that he
sucks.
But I like her partner. He's fun.
Her police partner is great. I wrote down some yo-yo with a TV in his hands, which I enjoyed.
It's a good phrase.
The use of yo-yo as a derogatory term for a man. I just enjoyed that. I'm sure it's some kind of, like, Yankee type.
Yeah, maybe. I wrote down about that scene, your motivation is you're about to smash a TV in front of a crying baby.
That is a bit of a weird scene.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, do those actors know anything about Lost? About the show that they're part of? Do you know what I mean? Like the heroine woman.
Does that baby know about the island, you know?
Yeah. Does that baby know anything? Does that baby know a thing about a damn thing?
Does the baby even know it exists? Babies in TV always make me laugh. I don't know if I've talked about this with, like, Aaron, but, like, when there's, like, a newborn baby, like a tiny baby in a show, I'm like, whose goddamn baby is that? Like, what? Imagine growing up knowing that, like, you were, like, 2 weeks old and on Lost, you know?
Yeah. I think it tends to usually be people who work on the show.
Yeah, I do think so. I think it's like if a crew member has a baby, they're like, can we use your baby?
Yeah.
I don't think they're like there's no like baby spotlight.
Or maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
But it does make me laugh to think like did they audition babies, you know?
Yeah.
Because I always think my favourite like baby actor story is Maleficent.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the bit in Maleficent with the toddler Aurora, who, like, isn't scared of Maleficent, and she, like, gets her to pick her up and is, like, cuddling with her. And that is Angelina Jolie's daughter, because all the other kids they auditioned were scared of her in the costume, and then that baby was like, that's my mum. And that's just, like, such a cute story.
That's adorable. Yeah.
That's really, really sweet.
I would say my favourite child actor, baby actor story is my favourite film ever, of course, Monsters, Inc. Boo, the child.
Yes, I love this one as well.
Is like the daughter of...
the producer, I think?
I think so. But the fun part is that they basically didn't have a script for her. They just sort of let her play in this room and recorded what she said, and then worked the animation and the script for the actors around what she had kind of improvised, I guess, in just like when she was sort of playing and going like la 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 la. They're like, okay, cool, we'll put that into the scene.
Yeah. So the fact that like Mike Wazowski is such a recurring thing is just because obviously she
like
said it all
it.
the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cute, and I think that's why she feels very real.
How you doing, kid?
Yeah, how you doing, kid? Mike Wazowski. And that's something that like that's such an iconic part of the film.
Yes.
And I love that that's just them being like
because it's authentic. That's why it's
real,
so good, because it feels authentic.
And I love the idea of, like, showing up to your job as, like, a sound recordist and then being like, okay, you have to play with this toddler.
Yeah.
And then being like, cool.
On it, boss.
So, yes, sir. So maybe, maybe that baby's out there.
Yeah, maybe.
Baby from Lost.
We'll get him on the podcast.
I just think it must be such a wild experience to be able to watch a TV show and be like, that's me as a 2-week, like, tiny baby.
Yeah, it must be insane.
But it happens so much. I'm like, there must be so many babies out there.
Yeah. I mean, full stop.
That's the end of the sentence. There must be so many babies out there.
At least 12, I reckon.
Gotta be. Maybe even like 14.
Maybe. I love how neither of us picked any of the numbers.
No, I nearly did, but then I was like, I think it's funnier if I don't. So, okay. One of my notes just says socks. And I want to discuss this.
I want to discuss this too. Look, Anna Lucia, we love you. But why are socks your top priority?
Okay, but also, picture the scene, you've been wearing the same pair of socks for 50 days.
Is she even wearing socks?
Well, yeah. The alternative is don't wear socks. I'm gonna keep them on. This is like, we had this whole thing where when we were watching this episode, I said, why didn't she ask for clean underwear? And then we were like, well, probably because they didn't want to be like, bring me pants on like national, international TV. But then Dad was like, oh, she's probably not wearing underwear. And I was like, why the fuck? She's wearing jeans. Why would she not have underwear on?
But again, I feel like
it's like, the alternative is not wearing any.
It's the would you rather, use someone else's toothbrush or abandon pants. At a certain point, you have to abandon pants, especially the tail section who've been roughing it.
I don't think I would ever abandon pants.
I mean, wearing jeans with no pants on.
Asking for jeans in general. Like, she asked for jeans and socks, and I'm like, if you have any trousers that aren't jeans, I'd love those.
Yeah. Or just ask for some knickers, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like maybe the pit stains, she's past that point. I would ask for a fresh top, but maybe she's just...
Well, maybe she's gotten over that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. It's like,
you gotta think at that point, which item of clothing would you be the most...
I guess if she's thinking she's going to be hiking through the jungle for the foreseeable future, maybe she needs some thick, heavy-duty socks. Fair enough. She's probably got so many blisters right now. Oh, I can't even imagine how many blisters they all have.
Probably holes in her socks, aren't there?
Well, yeah. The socks are probably threads.
So I would ask for socks.
So actually, I've been convinced. I've been brought round to the socks. But isn't also socks one of the things that Hurley speculates is going to be in the hatch?
I think so, yeah.
Why are they all obsessed with socks?
Is there a Wikipedia page for socks? There's one for shoe.
Should you ask for socks? Maybe you should.
We finally, obviously, okay, we're going to talk about the ending and all of the reuniting moments. But I have to acknowledge that we got a hug moment before that. And it made me very happy.
The bro hug.
The bro hug.
The bro hug was good.
When Michael comes into the hatch and Jack is like, Michael! And then, gives him a hug. I was like, oh, hug moment.
It was a very bro hug, though. It was like a fist bump.
Grabbed him. But I was like, they don't hug often
Not fist bump, but you know what I mean.
And there are so many moments where they, fucking shake hands. And we've discussed it. And I think actually often it is Jack who goes in for the hugs. Which I like. He's a male main character who cries all the time and hugs people. I like it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I just appreciated that. I appreciate that Michael was like, yeah, I am going to give you a hug before I go. By the way, Shannon's dead. I did that, when Echo says a girl was killed, I was like, yeah, you've narrowed it down. If he said someone got killed, it's like, well, we've got about 50 people that could have been. A girl was killed. Oh, yeah. Shit, that's 5 options. We don't have many of those, Echo. No. Echo, we don't have many. Which one was it?
And John's like, well, we all know the writer's a misogynist, so I'm not really that surprised.
Yeah, he's shocked.
But yeah, that's really fun. Let's talk about the ending. Then.
Let's talk about the ending.
I cried.
It's great.
I cried when we first watched this. Just seeing Rose and Bernard reunite was just so beautiful.
It's also with Jin and Sun means a lot to me, that moment, because it's we left things in a very rocky position with Jin and Sun, but since they've almost grown back together from being apart, which I think is really nice. That we had Jin has developed as a character a lot in being in the raft and being with all of them, and also getting the episode with Anne found and having the thing about the wedding ring and all of that. It's they've almost in missing each other, they've reconciled a little bit.
It's so true, because you kind of someone who's more of a Jin hater than I am might go well, yeah, let him go on the raft, fuck that guy. If he dies, then great. But actually, no, they both have, I think, we talked about how being outside of society on the island has helped them. And I think being apart from each other has helped them as well, because you kind of, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Definitely,
you know?
I really think so. I think, like, they have, in, like, missing each other, they've realised how much they still want to be together.
Yes.
Especially with Sun. And when they found, like, the bottle and stuff, and that she thought he was dead,
It's
that
like,
suddenly... And also, like, when she saw Michael...
yes. Do you know what I was going to say? It's kind of the opposite for Boone and Shannon. Because you know when Boone thinks that Shannon is dead,
he's relieved.
he feels relief, and that reveals to him, like,
that he needs to
being obsessed with her is not good for me, and it's actually better when I don't have that kind of obsession. But with these two, it's like when she thinks Jin is dead, she's not free. She's not relieved in, like, I've finally escaped him. It's like, oh my god. Like,
in the way that she probably expected to be.
Yes. It's revealed to her that it's like, no, I do love him, and I miss him, and I want things to go back to the way they were.
The relief is actually being away from her father, I think, isn't it? And all of the pressure that their life had put on them. And this, like, it's like, you kind of forget about all of that.
In amongst everything else
everything that's happened, that then that moment of reuniting where, like, Shannon, because you mentioned Boone and Shannon, where, like, Sun sees Jin and, like, she does, like, a bit of a double take, and that, like, I was like, oh god, like, how's it gonna go, you know? And then they're just, like, so happy to see each other. I just think it's really great.
It is lovely. It is truly lovely.
But, like, rewinding a little bit, where Michael sees Sun.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to talk about
Great scene.
Great scene.
Love that scene.
So, remind me, Sun knows, because this is like all the girls talking to each other, wasn't it? Sun knows about the bottle.
Yep.
Because Shannon told Claire, and then Shannon and Claire told Shannon, and then Claire and Shannon took it to Sun. Does Sun know that Shannon's been seeing Walt?
Yes, because I would say yes, because Shannon came in that first episode of the season, and was like, I saw Walt, and she told everybody.
Yes. And they all heard her, like, screaming and stuff.
Yes. So I don't know how much Sun knows, but I would say yes, she's at least on some level aware.
Because I was gonna say, in that moment, did she think Michael wasn't real? Or, like,
possible.
some kind of apparition. And, like, that Michael starts with going, like, Jin's fine.
Yeah, I really liked that. It's like, I understand what your priority is. Jin's okay. But obviously Sun's going to be shitting herself, because it's like, why is Michael here and not the rest of them?
Yeah.
It's like, Jin's okay. Sawyer, on the other hand.
Sawyer, on the other hand, is dying, and also Walt's gone. But your husband is fine. I really liked the kind of, there was a bit of a moment where Michael was filling Saeed in on what happened on the raft, where he was almost comforting Saeed over Walt getting taken, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard for Michael at this point, because all he wants to do is run off into the jungle and try and find Walt, but he knows that he can't. Again, it's because of Sawyer, you know, trying to keep him alive, but it's also like he's having to navigate. We talk about how Echo is really good at instantly being able to navigate this social situation. I think Michael is less good.
Michael is really struggling,
and he's trying to fit himself into all of these different scenarios and this shit that's happening. I mean, yeah, he's been thrown in the deep end for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting layer to the sort of Jin-Sun dynamic also, is how interlinked Michael is with it all.
Absolutely.
I mean, both of her boyfriends went off on the raft. Tough time for Sun.
Tough times.
But now they're both back.
Rose and Bernard.
Oh
my gosh, it's just so... I mean, Michael gets to reunite with Vincent as well, which is a really sweet scene.
Michael and Vincent is very cute. Very cute. And getting to see him again.
But I was literally talking the other week about, like, how I just got sad thinking about Rose and Bernard being so separated.
I know.
And it's just like...
And it's the fact that, like, for the last few days, Bernard has known that Rose is alive, but Rose still doesn't know. You know, and she obviously she has, like, the feeling, but she doesn't know. Like, I can't believe that, like, we've been seeing it for so long, but all of these people, you know, when they see Michael, And when they see Sawyer and when they see Echo and whatever, it's like, oh, who are these people? You know, they don't even know about the tail section.
No.
They don't know that the raft crashed. I mean, they sort of know, but they don't really. And it's like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, it is a collision.
It really
is a collision.
It really is.
I think it's a good descriptor for the way that the two groups have come together.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, Rose and Bernard.
I love them so much. And it's like, it's so great because they are minor characters, you know. Rose is very much a background character. We didn't see nearly enough of her in season 1. And the fact that the show gives them the opportunity and the screen time to have their reunion, and that we get to see it, is just so beautiful.
It's just amazing. It really is. And like, that Bernard has been through all of that, and he's still survived it, and he's made it back to see her.
Oh, another great line from earlier in this episode, when Anna Lucia goes, "How long have I kept you alive out here, Bernard?"
Yeah.
So good.
And I love his response to that is like, you have kept me alive, and thank you, and I would have died without you, but I want to go see my wife, you know?
It's like, that's the reason I was keeping myself alive all this time, you know? To try and find her. Oh, they're so cute. But yeah, I think before we go, I think we've almost covered everything in this episode.
We have.
But I want to really take the time to properly unpack the "should you kill me? Maybe you should." That whole scene.
Absolutely. Because I think we've joked about it a little bit, and we've kind of brushed over it.
Yeah.
But that's so much meat to that scene. Excuse me.
I want to first of all talk about the musical score in that scene. I absolutely love. I wrote excellent in all caps. It's so creepy and tense, and like, it's a long scene. It's a long conversation between the two of them. And throughout the whole thing, they keep up this kind of like high-pitched violin note that just comes in every now and then. Mm-hmm. And it really builds the tension, and I just think it's so wonderful because it's almost like the Anna Lucia and Goodwin scene where you're like, one of them is gonna kill the other and we don't know who or when or how. And yeah, I just think it's great.
It's brilliant. It really is. And I think that it's like, you know, we talked about how like the more the episode goes on, the more they kind of cool off from that intense thing, but also it's like the way that other people kind of peel away until it's just the two of them, and they both have that recognition of each other.
Yeah.
Recognition of self in the other, or whatever it is. What's that? You know that phrase?
Is that Fall Out Boy album? I don't
know. It should be.
I wrote down men whose voices I still hear in the night.
Yeah.
I wanted to just take a moment to appreciate that line. Because it's like, you're suffering from post-traumatic stress, aren't we all? Right? Everyone on this island has been through stress and trauma by virtue of the crash and everything that's happened on the island. Both groups, even though obviously the tail section probably have had it worse, but you know, it's not a competition.
But if it was, they'd be winning.
If it was, they'd be winning. But also, so many of the characters have gone through stuff off the island. And we see that definitely with Anna Lucia. And I think we forget sometimes how much Saeed has been through.
Absolutely, because he seems like he almost appears to be one of the most well-adjusted characters.
Yeah.
But it's like you forget that the reason for that is because he's almost good at going through traumatic experiences. So when it comes to the crash, he reacts rationally because he's experienced this, well, obviously not this exact kind of shit in the past, but he's experienced things like this.
Yeah.
And
I really thought you were going to say when it comes to the crunch.
When it comes to the crunch. Like he doesn't have that much of a personality change, you know? like his life kind of stays on the same intense, awful level.
Yeah, and also
so he's
like
able to be very well adjusted to the island.
Part of his military training, and also part of, especially given what he did, you know, is to kind of repress that.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And the way to like keep your head down, one foot in front of the other, like keep going. So he can do that, and so you forget the kind of stuff that's happened to him.
Yeah. And how deeply it's affected him. And I think him bringing that up at this moment in time is so crucial. Because not only does it allow for the we're not so different, you and I, but also it makes you as the audience think he's about I'm these are like last words vibes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to let it all out because there's no point hiding any secrets anymore kind of energy.
Yeah, and like someone needs to hear what I did. I think also there's a level of like, it's like trying to make Anna Lucia not feel bad about killing him. In a sense of like, you know, she wants to kill him because she thinks he's going to kill her. But also him being like, I'm a bad person. Yeah. It's okay.
Both of them have that
there's
moment.
Level of like I understand why you did what you did that comes from it, but also I think a part of it is a kind of like, don't feel bad about what you have to do because I've done it, but also because yeah
they both think they're bad people.
I deserve it. They both think they deserve to be killed.
Oh
I think
my god!
Even says that to him.
She does. She puts the weapons down in front of him and goes, "Pick them up. Do it. I deserve it." Oh my god!
And it's this idea that they're both already dead. Is like so, like there's this idea they kind of push on and off throughout the story that like they died in the crash.
Yeah.
You know, they're in hell. There's no escape. You know, they feel like they've died. But it's like these two died long before that.
It has so much more relevance and weight to it if you don't go, oh, that's a hint to they died in the crash.
Yeah.
If you just take it as it is.
Because it's like, that's what they're saying is the plane crash is almost irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Because they've just been like zombies through their own lives for all of this time. Yeah. That they're just like, man,
in many ways, it's like, what is this scene doing in the hit television show Lost? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is so intense. This should be like in a, you know, Oscar-winning movie. It should be like a play in the theatres.
It's got a bit of a theatre vibe, I think, because it's such a long scene of just the two of them with the dialogue, and there's no like huge action. It could very much be put on a stage.
And I think we actually get the final Anna Lucia flashback within that scene.
In the middle, yeah.
Which is really...
Because I think it's... We see it, and then after Saeed's finished talking, and then I think after we see it is when she tells him, and then she says they never found him. Like, after we've seen her kill him?
Yes, because we meet him, they go, we found the guy, and then she's in the police interrogation, which, by the way, can I just quickly talk about that scene, because I really like what she's doing acting-wise. I think it's really subtle, and it's really good, because all she really says is, it's not him. But the facial expressions she goes through are like so varied, so wonderful, so brilliant. And it's like, it's all really subtle, and it's only really when you've already seen it that you fully understand and appreciate what she's doing in that scene.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can kind of go the extra step to look at the details.
Yeah.
When you know the plot already.
Yeah, because we don't know why she's saying it's not him. Is it because it really isn't him? Is it because she doesn't recognise him? Is it because she wants him to go free? Even though her mum's saying, you don't want him back out on the streets, he's a nasty guy, all of these things. So anyway, so that scene's great, but we get all of that before we know what he did.
Yeah.
And then she says that. We don't actually see that scene. She tells that story to Saeed. Then I'm pretty sure he says what happened to him, and then we see her killing him. And then she goes, nothing happened to him, they never found him. Which is interesting that she chooses to lie in that scene when Saeed is being so open.
Yeah. But that begs the question, like, what happened after that, you know? In Ana Lucia's life. Like, what happened after she killed that guy? Did they never find him again? You know? Did she go to prison for that? Did she, like... Did they catch her? Is it like an unsolved murder? You know, is she now the one that they're never going to find? Like,
that's
there's
really
that kind of where is that? Because obviously it's the emotional conclusion.
Yes.
For Ana Lucia is that she got to kill him. But then it's like there's a very real practical
that's completely
follow-on
yeah.
of like she killed a man in the middle of like I don't know where it is, LA I guess. Because that's where the plane was gonna land. Like that is, you know, what happened after that?
What happened after that?
Know.
It's a really good point. And it's like, is she like Kate? You know, is she on the run?
Yeah.
Could be.
Don't even get me started on Kate and Ana Lucia parallel. We'll get to that. Ana Lucia is just such an interesting character to be brought into the mix. Because obviously Echo is like the big crazy character that they've introduced because he's like so mystical and we know nothing about him and he seems so like sure of himself. But I think Ana Lucia is so interesting as
so
like
interesting.
She parallels so fascinatingly with so many of the characters, like with Jack and with Saeed and with Kate and even with Shannon on a level.
Yeah,
and
I think so completely.
With Echo and with so many, and with Sawyer and like basically everyone she interacts with, she has a really interesting dynamic with, and that I think is a sign of a really well written character.
I completely agree.
And on that note, shall we wrap things up?
I think we should. I mean, I feel like we don't really need to get into final thoughts of the episode because we've talked at length.
You know what our thoughts are.
About how much we really like this
I think
episode.
what I'll give you is my opening thoughts on the episode, which is that the first note I made in this episode is Ana Lucia episode, yay, yay, yippee, yay.
Yeah.
Because I love her.
Really, and truly, and because as well, like, when the characters get introduced, you're kind of waiting for their backstory. You're like, come on, this is going to be so good. And it's like, we kind of got that with the other 48 days. And imagine if we just never found anything else out about them.
Yeah. I noticed, actually, I was quite interested in the fact that in the previously on, they didn't show any other 48 days flashbacks.
Ah, yeah, that is interesting.
It was all, like, the stuff with the RAF people, and then, like, Ana Lucia shooting Shannon and like the airport, but there was no like, I guess because it's not immediately relevant to what's happening in the plot, but it is like quite important emotional context, I feel. And there's the little hints of like she recognizes the army knife and things like that kind of lean towards her backstory.
Yes, do you remember how many times I was like, I wonder if she has military training?
Yeah,
it seems no. But I like that she isn't another soldier because we already have a couple soldiers, right? And it's like the cop element is
really
interesting, and it scratches that itch that the Marshal left for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine if the Marshal had survived and then met Ana Lucia?
Oh my god! This is why he should have survived. That would be
crazy.
Divas.
But also, like, how would the Marshal feel about the fact that she took the law into her own hands and like killed that guy?
Yeah, because
he seems to be very like straight laced sort of police, like she's a bad person, she needs to go behind bars. He's
mean and theatrical, and like he relishes like that great scene where he's with Kate in the airport.
Oh yeah,
and he's like blah blah blah
blah
blah
blah
blah,
the plane.
Very smug and everything, but he still very much follows the rules.
He's very following the law, so I think he would maybe not like that she'd done that. That would have made for a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, so she's perhaps more interesting than the Marshal. I'll say it. Because she has,
is.
Because look, let me have this, all right? This is big of me. No, I'm joking. I would love Ana Lucia more than the Marshal, of course. But what I'm trying to get at is because she has that renegade element.
Yeah,
you know?
No, absolutely. They're definitely very similar characters, definitely. And yeah, maybe she was almost like maybe they got halfway through writing season 1 and then went, God, I wish the Marshal was still alive, and then they wrote in a cop character, you know? Like, maybe that was part of the motivation.
So. I hope so.
Because I do think there's elements of that, like, here and there, you know?
Yeah. But not only is it an excellent episode in terms of we finally get Anne Lucia's backstory, but also I think everything else that happens on the island is really cool. Like, we get Echo interacting with the main camp survivors, the hello scene, we get more Hatch content, you know, which is fun. The Hatch has been a bit absent lately, so I'm glad that we're getting some Hatch content.
Michael experiencing the Hatch.
Yes, absolutely. And then of course the reunion bit at the end. You know,
Son's still gardening.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of stuff. It, like,
golf.
Also, Jack was very serious about the golf. Also, he looked very serious going into that conversation where he flirted badly.
Mm-hmm.
He had, like, a face like he was about to be like, someone is dead. But what he was going to say is, anyone can hit a ball. I know, that made me laugh. Because it's like he's even taking fun seriously.
Of course he takes fun seriously. It's Jack.
I hate him.
Brackets affectionate.
Yeah, with love. I mean, anyone who listens to the podcast knows I love him. Yeah. Oh, it's just such a good episode. It's so good.
It's a really good one, gang.
Yeah.
It's such a shame what we're
No,
about
it's
to
not!
what we're about to encounter.
No, it's not! We're gonna argue so much next week, gang.
Next week's gonna be... We might be here for 5 hours.
Next week, we'll be talking about Season 2, Episode 9, What Kate Did.
Is this episode 8?
Yeah. I think so.
But yeah, next week it's What Kate Did. Now...
I like this episode, Ariel hates it.
I don't like it.
Is the long and short of it.
So we'll get into it next week. But the thing is, I want to say right now, if you've not watched the show, you might see that title and be like, oh my god, yes, finally, excellent. And crucially, I want to say, that bit, yes.
Yeah.
Finding out what Kate did, I was so excited too, and it is really good. The rest of the episode, however, pisses me off.
I like it. We'll discuss it next week. In the meantime, you can find us on social media at lostallcaps-podcast, whatever, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, etc.
Yeah. The links are in
our description. In the description of this video and or audio.
Wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me as well at Ariel Hebditch on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. I'm going to be doing many a stand-up comedy gig, which you can find me at those. You can see me. I post stupid videos as well. And I'm part of at Spruce Moose Comedy. And we post silly videos on there as well. And we do shows occasionally. So much content from us too that you
can't move for Ariel content.
You can't move for Ariel content, honestly. Just get stuck in, you know?
Not a whole lot of Velvet content out there. I'm a bit busy writing my dissertation for my degree. I'll be real with you guys, but I'm doing my best.
When are you going to publish the dissertation?
Well, that's a tough one.
Velvet content.
Has to get marked first.
Yeah. Hashtag my content, and it's just a full 40-page dissertation.
A dissertation on children's media. I nearly did a Lost dissertation.
Oh my god!
I did a TV module. I've talked about my TV tutor and how great he is, but when I gave him my final essay plan, he said to me, I'll be honest, I'm a bit disappointed it's not about Lost.
Oh!
And I was
Rob?
like...
It's called Rob, isn't he? Yeah. Rob, I'm so sorry they disappointed you. If I was your student, like, Rob, I would be writing about Lost.
I was like, listen, I had a lot to say. But what it was is I felt like I would have too much to say. And it was only like a 2,500 word essay. And I was like, I'm going to get so caught up
Your whole dissertation is only 2,500 words.
No, the essay for this module.
I was going to say, I was like, oh my god.
No, the diss is like 10,000 or something.
Oh wow, that's quite long, to be fair.
I don't know. 6 hours? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't remember.
It's going well so far.
The plan is going well, guys. No, I think its extended dissertation is 10 to 12, I think. If you do it over the full year. And if you do it in one semester, it's like 6 to 8, I think.
Okay.
Anyway. No, the essay for this module was 2,500 words. And I was like, I think I would get so caught up in how much I had to say that the essay kind of wouldn't have any point to it.
I mean, look at the material.
Yeah.
You know, look at how many
so
hours
much of it.
we have yapped about
No,
Lost
absolutely.
already, and we're barely into season 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would be almost impossible to condense into a 2,500 word essay unless you like zoned in on one very specific element.
That's the thing. I would have to pick something really narrow, and I think I wouldn't be happy about writing about something really narrow, you know? And then he said, oh, maybe a dissertation then. And I was like, well, maybe. And I considered it. But I think, again, even then, I was like, I would have to pick, like, an angle about, like, audience reception or something like that. And I think, like, it would be quite difficult to narrow down.
Yeah. And you may well go on many a tangent.
Yeah, I think so.
Just be like, look, Saeed is the most baby girl, and we need to address this fact.
My dissertation on who is the most baby girl.
Yeah, your citation is just this podcast.
lostallcaps-podcast. Brackets 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I could cite myself, actually, if I was to write a Lost. If I was going to be writing about, like, fan reception.
It's a bit, oh, see, I always pronounce it wrong. You laugh at me for pronouncing it wrong.
Go on.
Ouroborosian?
Ouroboros.
Ouroborosian.
It would be self-plagiarism, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the word. I was going quite eldritch with
you
my
were going
definition.
abstract.
Yeah.
The word is
The
self-plagiarism.
very real consequence is self-plagiarism.
But I guess if I cite, I don't know. Anyway, the fact that we now have this, I think, also put me off the Lost dissertation a little bit, because I was like, I can talk about Lost here.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it in my degree as well.
This is essentially our joint dissertation, and we hope you enjoy.
We hope you do enjoy. And we will see you next week.
We will indeed.
For what Kate did.
Strap in, people.